What is up, all of you awesome and amazing people on YouTube? The old coot here coming at you with another exciting video. Eggs in a stainless steel pan in real time. That's what we are going to do today. So my pan's cold, right? It's not on, obviously. Everything's off. The burner's off, whatever. This is a All-Clad 10-inch D3 stainless steel pan. I will put a link down below in the description. So that's one thing you're going to need. Whatever stainless steel pan you want to use is totally fine. I just like All-Clad. I think you get better performance. Whether it's a D3 or a D5 or D whatever, whatever floats your boat, just go for it. Anyways, that's the 10-inch pan. Okay, so then what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a bowl with the fork, right, ready, or a whisk ready to, beat up my eggs, because I'm going to do kind of like a semi-omelet today. And then it's important to have olive oil, right? This is extra virgin olive oil sprayer. I will put a link to this down below as well in the description. These things are great because when you spray them, you get like an even distribution of olive oil across the pan. You could do just olive oil if you want, or you could do just butter if you want, or you could do a combination of both, which is what I'm going to do today. The next important factor, try if you can, I mean, we're doing this in real time, but try if you can to take your eggs out at least like a half an hour before you cook them. But just for the purposes of this video, to show you the League of lighting, frosting effect, and all that good stuff, we're just going to use them cold, which is very unusual for me. But these are cold eggs. Usually I take them out about a half an hour before. And if you stay tuned, in the next video, I'm going to get into a longer, more in-depth explanation of how this whole process works. But just for now, because I want to get this going, let's do it. Okay, so the largest burner that I have, here's the heat setting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on, right? And I want to go somewhere between, if that's medium and that's low, I want to go somewhere in between. And I kind of have this like quasi sort of marked off. But I want this to, I want the pan to, right? We're still cold. It's heating up. I want this to warm up for at least 2 minutes. Like 1 minute if you're in a rush or whatever. But 2 minutes is good. 3 minutes would be even better. But just for the purposes of this video, we're going to let it go for about 2 minutes. Remember, biggest burner, right? Pan goes on top. You want even distribution of heat. You get the idea. So in the meantime, let me go ahead and break, crack, and then whisk my eggs. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to crack. So I'm just doing 2 eggs. In the next video, I'll probably do something like 4 or 5, which is normally what I eat in the morning. But, just for experimentational purposes and video instruction. Remember, this video is intended for entertainment purposes only. What does that mean? That means you're on your own, sucker. Just kidding. Anyways, okay. So let's go ahead and whisk these up. Right, I'm just using a regular bowl here, a regular kind of thing. You want to give them like a decent whisk. At this point is usually when I add my salt. I just put in like about a pinch of salt, right? Like one little pinch of salt, evenly distributed right there. Sometimes I'll put pepper in, sometimes not. I can't work the pepper grinder at the same with only one hand because my other hand's holding the phone. So we'll just leave it at that. So we're at about 1 minute now of the pan warming up. And like I said, ideally it would be nice if you took your time with this, had 2 minutes for the pan. Like I'm feeling some heat action going on, but still not yet. So remember, because you're between medium and low, it's going to take longer for the pan to warm up. And the reason why you want the pan to warm up is because it's more even distribution of the heat. So D3, right? There's 3 layers of metal in there. There's stainless steel on the bottom. There's a layer of aluminum in the middle. And then there's a layer of stainless steel on the top, which is the actual cooking surface. You want all of those metals to be homogeneously heated, meaning copacetically in harmony with each other, as college word educated as I possibly can. You just basically want an even heat distribution across the whole surface so you don't get any hot spots and you don't get any cold spots. Very, very important. Okay, I think we're at about 2 minutes now. I can kind of feel with my hand that I'm like almost there. How do you know you're almost there? Go to your sink or whatever, get yourself some water. Here's a little bit of water. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in 1 drop or 2 drops of water. And we're almost there. See how I got a sizzle, but then I started to get like a rolling ball going? That means I'm just under heat. So I need to just wait another maybe about 30, 40 seconds more, and then I should be at the perfect temperature. But when you get instant evaporation, this is called the Leidenfrost effect, by the way. When you get that instant evaporation, usually means you're too cold. If I put the water in it and it explodes like a firecracker, too hot. But I know from experience that I need to let this go like about another 30 seconds or so, and then it'll be at about the right cooking temperature. So I'm almost there. So what I'm going to do is just give my eggs another quick like re-spieling or whatever. Also, utensils. If you're going to make scrambled eggs and you're going to be moving the eggs around and scrambling them, try to use silicone tipped and a good silicone tipped utensils. This happens to be OXO Good Grips. I'll put a link down below in the description. Or you can use something like this, which is more like a spatula style. This is also OXO Good Grips. I'll put a link to this down below in the description as well. Okay, I'm ready to lube up. I already know from experience that I am. If you want to redo the Leidenfrost effect to see if you get that rolling ball of water rolling around, go ahead, do your thing. But anyways, I'm going to give this 2 sprays with the extra virgin olive oil sprayer. So 1, 2, maybe 3 in the middle just to kind of get an even coating. Then I'm going to put my butter in. I use a combination of both. If you were only using olive oil, just put in about a tablespoon or so. If you're only using butter, same, just put in about a tablespoon. This is about a half a tablespoon or so. So I'm going to put that in. Good sizzle, but it's not burning or it's not browning too quickly. And then what I want to do is just move this around the pan. Right. Also, very important, start with the clean pan. Make sure that your pan is clean before you do this. If you had debris in there from the previous time cooking, you're going to cause stickage. Anyways, this is what I want. The sizzling has stopped. It's just starting to lightly golden brown. Now I can throw my eggs in there. So let's go ahead and do that. Kind of hard to do this with one hand, but let's see if I can do my best. Okay, so here we go. Here go my eggs. I'm going to go low, right? So like I'm low to the pan. I'm going to drop my eggs in. Good sizzle. And then, let's see if I get this all out. Oh, okay. So good sizzle. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to just sit for like a second, not do anything at all. Maybe just fill up the bottom of the pan. But see already how I got slide action? So I'm already at the omelet stage. If I wanted to do a scramble, I would take the tongs, I usually use tongs, and just mix this all up and just start the scramble. Gently though, very, very gently. So that would be what I would do. But I want to make more of like an omelet or quasi-omelet. So I've already got sliding, I've already got moving, right? See how easy that is? And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for more of the edges to become more, let's say, a little more evaporated or drier. So there's less actual liquid egg that's in there. But see all those bubbles? All those bubbles are signs that I've got good separation between the egg and the pan and that everything's lifting. So I'm about at the point where I could do the omelet. If you wanted to put your toppings in, mushrooms, cheese, ham, make a Denver omelet, make a whatever, making a Los Angeles omelet, put some spinach in there, avocado, whatever, this would be the time to do it. I usually just put nothing in, and I usually just do a little flip. But see how it's all sliding around? Look at that. Look at that. Perfect hockey puck action going on. So now what I'm going to do is I can either roll, right? I can try to roll, or I can just do a big flip. So let me just go ahead and do the big flip. Oi, there we go. Almost got it. But this would be where if you wanted to make it fancy, you can kind of fix it and whatever. This is the point where you're like 90% done. What I usually do is turn off the heat, right? Because I don't need to be on the heat anymore. And what I could do is I can make it fancy schmancy and just starting to do this kind of thing. See that? See how beautiful that came out? One good flip. This would be the point where I would plate it, take it out, whatever. I didn't put out a plate, but anyways, you kind of get the idea. That's the video. That's where hopefully you'll be. Experiment and watch the next video, please. Please watch the next video because that's going to explain more about what just happened here. Anyways, if you like what you're seeing, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down there below. I will put links to the pan, the olive oil sprayer, all the silicone utensils that I use to kind of, you know, if you do want to make a scramble or whatever. But see how beautiful that hockey puck action is right there? That's what you want from your pan. Quickly recap, key takeaways. Using stainless steel, make sure your stainless steel pan is clean before you use it. Put your pan on the burner. Try to use the biggest burner you have. Set your heat between medium and low, kind of nudging towards the medium side. Let your pan warm up. At least 2 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes would be ideal. Try to have your food out like before. If you have the time in the morning and you're going to be doing eggs, try to have your eggs out like at least a half an hour before you cook them so that they can come up in temperature to at least closer to room temperature instead of just being 36 or 34 degrees or whatever, or 40 degrees or whatever your temperature is set at. But if you can't, you're in a rush, no big deal. If you're going to do sunny side up eggs, that's totally fine. You could just crack them and put them in, whatever. But if you're going to do the scramble, just make sure you scramble them, put your salt in here, not here, because here the salt's kind of melts and caramelizes. It causes some weird thing with the pan where you might get some stickage. So if you do want to salt at the end, you can always take it out and salt at the end. That's fine too, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to use salt, you don't have to use salt. That's totally fine. But anyways, once your pan has come up to temperature, in the first initial stages of doing it, do the Leidenfrost effect where you drop the water in. If the water just completely sizzles right off the bat, pan's too cold. If you drop the water in, the water explodes like a firecracker. It's too hot. So you want to be somewhere kind of like in the middle where the drop of water balls up into a bead and just rolls around the pan. That's kind of what you want. So then once your pan has come up to temperature, make sure you use butter or oil or a combination of both. You could use vegetable oil, regular oil, whatever the case may be. Just make sure that your pan is oiled up. I just want to keep moving this, otherwise it'll get too cold, but I want to keep moving it just so it stays warm. But anyways, once you get your butter or your oil in there or whatever, go ahead and swirl it around. Make sure you got a good even coating of the pan. Try to get the sides as well, because as you do your flips, see like this, you want to make sure that nothing sticks on the sides of the pan as well. So then once you put your eggs in there or whatever, let them sit initially for about 5-10 seconds, just so that there can be separation of the egg and the pan itself. Then you can go ahead and do what you want to do. If you want to do a scramble, use a pair of like silicone tongs or a silicone spatula or whatever. Move your eggs around, do whatever you normally do, just gentle. Remember, you're not trying to scrape the bottom of the pan, because otherwise you're moving that oil between the pan and your eggs. So just gently, just move everything around. And then if you're ready to flip, you flip. If you're ready and your scramble is done and it's the acceptable level of doneness for your scrambled eggs, then you can go ahead and take them out and then do whatever you got to do, plate them and blah, blah, blah. If you're going to do the omelet, like I showed you, once you leave them be and they're cooking and you're getting that nice bubble action where you're seeing those elevated like bubbles on the egg, then you can put your mushrooms, your fillings, your cheese, your toppings, your whatever. Go ahead and do your fold. If you can do it by flipping, great. If you can't, use silicone is your best friend. Silicone or wood if you have to use wooden. But try not to go metal to metal, because metal to metal is you're going to scrape that oil and that fat barrier between the pan and your food, and then you're going to get stickage. Hope this video helps some of you out there. Please watch the next video after this one for a more in-depth explanation. Links are down below in the description. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you all in the next exciting video.